is Dr. Jeff Kim, and I had just a chance to go to a workshop called Mindfulness and Racial Awareness. I know I haven't seen the two together like that before, but let me tell you why I think it was so beneficial. First of all, you know, if you're an educator, you probably are the kind of person that's always thinking about the next step, whether it's the next task to do or the next assignment to grade or create or give or contacting somebody or lesson plan. There's always a next step that you are thinking in your mind. When are those moments where we take a moment to kind of pause and reflect and be present and to be self-aware of the kind of things that we're feeling and that what we're going through? And so I've attended a workshop through Illumination before on mindfulness, and it's been so good at helping me to get better at taking a moment to pause and to kind of think about that. So if adults need this, and I'm an adult and I have a lot of life experiences and it's beneficial to me, it's also very beneficial then for our students who are going through so much change in their adolescent years. If you just go back and think about whether it's junior high Jeff or even high school Jeff, could there have been moments where it would have been helpful for him to also pause, reflect, and think before taking action? Now, this is just the general, teenage life where, mindfulness can be beneficial, or even as adults, mindfulness can be beneficial. But what if we add that topic of racial awareness? Racial awareness. So if I bring up the topic of race, racial experiences, racial awareness, maybe there's some memories that come up, some emotions that come up. And have you ever taken a moment to be mindful about it, about what you're feeling and treating your feelings in a kind and thoughtful and compassionate way? Oftentimes when we feel feelings that are uncomfortable, oftentimes we don't stop thinking about it. We push it away. We don't want to remember it. We don't want to think about it anymore because to think about it causes some discomfort. We don't take that mindful moment. And then when we interact with students, let's say there's that topic of racial awareness, maybe we don't even want to go there either. And because we haven't processed it ourselves, it's very difficult then to be vulnerable first, and then it's very difficult then for our class to process. So if I'm giving a students an assignment, I've talked about this assignment before, this ethnography, where students know their story, tell their story, listen to one another's story with empathy and respect, and then do something good with their story. If I were to begin that first prompt of knowing their story with a moment of mindfulness and guiding them through their emotions, their feelings, as we go through questions by questions, might that help them in the processing of their own story? Might that help them process what they're feeling and what they're thinking as they think about telling their story with empathy and compassion? And once again, there's so many stories that are out there. If we had a moment to be mindful, might that help with also the listening to other people's stories with empathy and respect? And then as we listen to these stories, our own stories and the stories of others, and we think about what kind of civil or compassionate action we want to take, do we also think and take a moment to be mindful of what action we might want to take and how that might make us feel as we take that compassionate action? So once again, this is another step in growing in my practice and habit of being mindful, and I appreciated today's workshop, which was a step in that journey to grow in my mindfulness and think about what that could look like as a teacher, and what that could look like as I model for my students, and what that could look like in students who know how to better self-regulate, who know how to be more self-aware, who know how to better manage their emotions in the moment because they've been given some tools and they've seen it modeled by their teacher that cares for them so much. This is Dr. Jeff, signing out.